Hello, everybody. We're back again after a very long while. And I've been thinking about and I've been watching what's been happening with the Epstein files, and things have gotten just redonkulous. So recently, we hear this interview by LesWexner. He was in the court and he was saying some stuff, some very shady stuff. So let's go and see the video.
I didn't have the idea to inventory furniture or valuables. And it's like, how could you have all silverware in your house? And I didn't count forks and spoons. And it's like, Jeff said, people could be walking out with forks and spoons. I said, gee, that's a good idea. We ought to have an inventory. But then there was, I hired a lady to be like the house manager who had run the U.S. Embassy in Rome. And
So in this video, Lex is talking about forks and knives. And even his lawyer is like, keep it to 5, keep it to 5 words, damn it. Because now he's like talking crazy. He's talking about Jeffrey Epstein recommending Lex Wexner to count the spoons at his house, because Lex Wexner is a billionaire and he has all these friends. He's inviting them to parties. He has this ranch. He has this amazing house. Although we all can't really relate to Lex Wexner, but let's just deep dive into Lex Wexner's brain. So Jeffrey comes up and Jeffrey says that you have to count your spoons. So Lex Wexner hires the US ambassador to Rome to count the silverware. So even the lawyer is like, guy, please keep it to 5 words. And then this guy who is Lex Wexner's lawyer is the worst at whispering. I mean, this guy should be banned just because he doesn't know how to whisper. So the guy, let's just watch the video and then I'll talk about it.
Okay, get up here. Answer the question. We'll do 5 words, okay? Answer the question.
okay.
And he goes into Lex Wexner's ear and he's trying to say, I will fucking kill you, you goddamn bastard. Don't say any more than 5 words, because this guy is talking about spoons and knives and how he met Jeffrey Epstein and how he was a representative of the Rockefeller Group. So, I mean, this all is getting incredibly outrageous. So when we're talking about Lex Wexner, so what sort of a person he is? He's like a multi-billionaire. He once used to own all these luxury brands. And now, because Jeffrey has this amazing advice on counting the spoons after each party, and now they have US ambassador to Rome to just count the spoons at his house. So Wexner, on this amazing advice that Jeffrey has given him, he gifts him the biggest residence in New York. And that's not just it. He also gives him billions and billions of dollars. Some say that Jeffrey Epstein was handling all the accounts of Lex Wexner. When you go to the 70s and the 80s and you talk about Robert Maxwell, who is the father of Ghislaine Maxwell. So these guys were agents of the Mossad. And these guys are known for their espionage. They're known for making dirty videos, getting dirty stuff on their opponents or on anyone who is in a position of power. So when they have some dirty stuff on you, they can manipulate the biggest of the biggest people. Because what would happen? Seriously, what would happen if you just found out that the president of United States of America was a pedophile, and there was a video out there of him molesting like a 12-year-old or even an 8-year-old? And these billionaires, they're talking about kids as if there's some object or there's something edible thing. They have these weird, what you say, code words for some things. As some of the emails that we see of Jeffrey Epstein, they're talking about this little girl, and they're referring the girl as Snow White. And in the original movie, Snow White was actually like 13 years old. And the guy is like, as soon as she wore the dress, I fucked her 2 times. I mean, seriously, these billionaires, they're out of their heads. And sometimes in the emails, we're hearing about a comparison between small girls and shrimps. And Jeffrey Epstein is saying that the small girls are like shrimps, you can just take their head off and eat the rest of the body. So I'm not saying that Jeffrey and his billionaire friends and the Mossad and the CIA, they were all involved in eating the babies. They were raping the babies and they were eating the babies. We're not saying that. We're not jumping to conclusions just right away. But damn, these evidences that are recently coming out, they're just incredibly, incredibly insane. And as I was saying, what if you found out the president was a pedophile? Yeah, just think about that. What if he really is a pedophile? Who are they protecting now? Because the cat is out of the box, and everyone knows that Donald Trump was there, Jeffrey Epstein was there were little girls there, it was all a camera. Why are there grown up adults drinking alcohol and these little girls are dancing, and there's like cameras over there, people are recording, and these girls are like freaked out. Why are they dancing in front of these big guys who are drunk, and they're dancing back as well? So I mean, people are not that goddamn innocent. And especially these billionaire Jeffrey Epstein friends don't seem any innocent at all. And let me just say about this character, Prince Andrew. Now, these Epstein files are taking down billionaires and royalty and everyone who's famous left and right. So we heard this infamous guy, Michael Jackson, was doing things with little children, but in reality, Michael Jackson was not the guy that we think he was. Michael Jackson might have kids, but he had kids for all the right reasons. Even in Jeffrey Epstein's emails, he once noticed that Michael Jackson was at this party and there were all these billionaire people around, and Michael Jackson was actually trying to save them kids. And what happened to Michael Jackson? He was, I don't know, they made this big case around how Michael Jackson used to molest little children and how Michael Jackson was the worst person in the whole goddamn world. In reality, Michael Jackson owed half of like Sony and half of like the Beatles catalog.
You know what's gangster? I own Sony's publisher. Every time Beyonce and Jay-Z make a song, Michael was getting a check. I bought the Beatles.
Yeah.
While I'm doing the video with the Beatles. That's gangster.
Right.
Michael walked to Paul McCartney. You're gonna sell the Beatles? How much you sell them for? Oh, I don't know. You know, about 60 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. That motherfucker go right to his trailer, get his people on the phone. Paul don't find out till the next fucking day Michael done bought the Beatles. That motherfucker come on and say, how can you buy Beatles? How can you buy Beatles? He said 60, I gave you 64. That's a lot of money. The girl is mine.
Your publishing's mine.
This nigga's a gangster, nigga.
And that's why they told all the world that he was a goddamn pedophile. When in actual, this guy, Prince Andrew, royalty, now he's hiding in a car and he's arrested finally. And he used to say that he'd never sweat. But now he's sweating like a freaking pig. And he's disgraced the whole goddamn royal family, because these photos that you're seeing around, this grown-up man is like almost laying on this teenage sort of a girl. And I mean, what the hell was he thinking? How much drugs do you have to take to do such a stupid thing? And then there being different cameras around and people taking photos of that. Oh my God. And what about all the rest of the billionaires? What do you think about them? Because in the list, there are like a lot of people, even spiritual people. So not only Prince Andrew, but Deepak Chopra is in the Epstein files. And they are talking about some weird, shady ass stuff. What is happening, babies? So Deepak Chopra is like Oprah Winfrey's spiritual enlightenment, and he's like this guy who's always talking about. He actually talks a lot of sense. He's talking about habits. He's talking about the mind over body. He's talking about a lot of things. But Deepak Chopra is getting his spirituality from Jeffrey Epstein. And the next guy that I'm going to tell you about, I mean, what the hell? This guy, Dalai Lama, who is supposed to be the biggest spiritual leader. The Dalai Lama have been reincarnated from centuries and centuries. And now this one, the last Dalai Lama, is still alive. He comes in Jeffrey Epstein's files. And what is this guy doing? This guy is telling little children to kiss him in the mouth and suck his tongue while doing that. Royalty, spiritual leaders, billionaires, who else is involved in these shady, shady files? It's like a Pandora box. There are like thousands and thousands of people. And some people are pointing out that Donald Trump has been mentioned more times in the Jeffrey Epstein files than Jesus Christ in the Bible. This guy is the leader of the free world. He's about to rain a hellish war. He's about to rain his tomahawk missiles on the Iranian imperialist regime. He's against Russia. He's fighting this huge ass trillion-dollar war against the Russian army in Ukraine. And I mean, what has the world come to? Is Donald Trump really involved in the Jeffrey Epstein files? I was listening to Alex Jones, and he was like, Trump was actually the one who initially told the police about Jeffrey Epstein. They had this bidding war. Lex Wexner was trying to sell some property at Palm Beach, and Donald Trump and Epstein got into a bidding war. And that's when Trump outed this guy. What was Epstein doing? Epstein was taking girls, underage girls, out of Mar-a-Lago, and he was doing his shady stuff. I mean, this guy had like the perfect Ponzi scheme. He used to give money to one innocent girl for a massage, and during the massage, you don't know what happens. And then he told that girl, okay, now you are done. I had my ways with you. Now here's like $1,000 if you invite a friend of yours, and here's another $1,000 if you invite another friend of yours. And he made this whole pyramid scheme. Massage. What's with the massage and the billionaires? Is there like lower back pain, concurrent lower back pain that is happening? That's why they need all these massages. And talk about Robert Maxwell, who infamously died by diving from his own billion-dollar yacht. Who was this guy with? He was the first guy who was like this big ass Mossad agent who helped all the different cartels around the world reunite. And you might hear Pakistan's Bank of International Criminal and Crooks, BCCI, I guess, and then you hear about the Mexican cartels and the cartels around Thailand. All these cartels were brought together by Robert Maxwell. And on Robert Maxwell's parties, they were all these goddamn billionaires, and they were young, they were raping the girls, they were eating the babies, and they had a really good time. They thought that they were invincible. And now, when they're in their 80s and things are coming out about what the fuck was happening, now people are really, really goddamn amazed. And lastly, I want to talk about the infamous Nickelodeon logo. Now, why does this Nickelodeon logo look exactly similar to the St. James Island, which Jeffrey Epstein used to have? Like, Bill Clinton, 27 times that Bill Clinton flew in his private jet and came to this island where they used to have, I don't know, orgies with little children. And I don't know, there was like this hidden place from Jeffrey Epstein's house to this ocean. And that space was specifically for hiding bodies, for getting rid of the bodies. Some people are alleging that. And why did Jeffrey Epstein like order such big amount of chemicals just before he was going to prison? That amount of sulfuric acid could like um, uh, burn everything down to the bones, and he could dismantle like thousands of bodies with that amount of chemical. What really did happen? We're still getting like a glimpse of it. And there's like this whole bigger picture which is going to get out in front of the world very, very soon. And all these billionaire elite class are going to come crashing down. I mean, because these things, they've gotten out of hand. What do this billionaire royalty, these famous people, these spiritual leaders all have in common? They were with Jeffrey Epstein doing these weird ass rituals. Some call it Kabbalah, some call it like sacrificing little children to get bigger power, some call it like these billionaires. What do they have left in life? They're like the most boring people. You just are looking them from a distance. I know me and you, we'll never have that kind of money, but these guys have had it all. They've had like orgies with multiple women. They've had the biggest planes, the biggest boats, and now to go one step ahead, they are thinking about eating the babies and killing the babies and eating the babies. So this is all, I mean, there's a God, and there's ways that God tells us and shows us the real truth. And everything is coming out in such a fashion that all the puzzle blocks are fitting now, and we really see deep down inside how these billionaire class people are, how they take DMT. And even the interdimensional aliens are like, get a life, man. You're here after every 15 minutes, you take DMT and you're back here talking with me. I don't have any goddamn thing to say to you, motherfuckers. Please get a life, get a job. You billionaire people, you goddamn people, you have so much money. Please do something constructive with that.